Good, good. Making fun of my 80s clout?
No, I just don't, I've never been, like, it's specified as being 80s. Like,
I think of it as, like, when, you know, like an old 80s film, when people stand up and they just have, like, that slow, yeah, like cool running, you know, where they just start amazing stuff. Yeah. Old school. Old school. So how are you doing this morning?
Good, I'm really good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm like very happy this started at like 10 o'clock today. I'm used to things starting much earlier, so it's nice.
Yeah, is that your morning schedules usually look like?
Usually, yeah, we have pretty early, so this is nice.
Okay, well, good, good. And you got your coffee, you're ready to go?
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. So I see no one is at the mics yet, so I'm going to ask you a couple more questions before we get going. But please feel free to hop up, or even it's a small crowd, so even if you want to just raise your hand and ask a question, then we can also do that, okay? So, yeah, you have some? Oh. All right. Oh, we have some questions now. People just don't like standing in the morning, apparently. Okay, great. All right, so we'll start with you over here.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, wow, thank you. Thank you.
I will start from the beginning to end. Is it in there or is it?
Oh, well, actually, it's a little confusing the way that they're doing the seasons because we're not done with season 5 yet. We've finished season 5, but half of it hasn't even aired. So there's 10 episodes of season 5 that are going to air in 2018 sometime. I'm not exactly sure when, but we're waiting on hearing about season 6. So it doesn't end there. There's definitely more story to be told. It's really hard for me to contain because so much happens in the latter half of season 5. It's really hard to like keep it together.
Everything led up to everyone's anticipating what happened in.
Yeah.
For every year.
Yeah, we're real sorry it took us so long. Yeah. But isn't that fun, like jerking you around like that, making you wait for it? Yeah.
Makes it better in the end, so.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
like everything. Like everything. Great, awesome, thank you. You had one here?
Hi. Thank you. Well, I'm not saying
So I'm
she's
just gonna recap the question a little
Yeah,
bit
sure,
so everyone
sure.
can hear in case you didn't.
Yeah.
He is a fan of Hannah Montana, her work, or the work she did in Hannah Montana, but also wanted to know what it was like to work with Betty White.
Yeah, that was, it was bizarre. It was very strange. I don't know what we did to be able to get Betty White and Carl Reiner actually on the show, but Betty was, I think, in two episodes. She wants to come back, which is just so hilarious. I hope at 95 I'm like, bring me back, you know, for next season. But she's just very, very funny. She's very sweet. She's very little. She's these beautiful blue eyes. She's gorgeous too. I mean, she's just beautiful to look at. But very, very funny and very sweet, and just remembers everybody. Our director, Andy Cadiff, has worked with her for a very, very long time on Hot in Cleveland, and I don't think he may have done Golden Girls, but she remembers him and remembers a bunch of our crew that has worked with her in the past, and she's just awesome and very crass and great. It's wonderful.
That's great. Do you have any like specific memory of like when you were working with her? Is like that kind of like solidified who she was in your mind to you?
Well, the first thing she ever said to me, we do a table read on Mondays. And we have our Mondays are pretty short. We just all sit down at a table like this and we read through the script once. It only takes about an hour and a half. And I was sitting next to her, and she didn't even introduce herself. She just leaned over and she goes, "We need to do something about your skin." I was like, what the heck? I realized it was a compliment, but at the time I was like, oh my goodness, you know, it was Monday morning and it's trying to pick on her. But she's just very funny, and she called me a bitch one time, which was great. Because she was like, honey, you're just like me. You have blonde hair and blue eyes. That's what we call a bitch or something like that. So, that's
funny.
Okay, cool.
Who knew she was a comedy writer as well?
Who knew? Yeah.
Awesome. Another question? Go ahead, just raise your hand.
Well, I'm very entertaining, I swear. I'll answer any question, even not any question, but yes. Hi. Oh, cool. Oh, good. I do whatever I want. That's true. Did you want to read?
Yeah. So she's talking about Young and Hungry and the character Gabi, and she wants to know how much like you are to Gabi as being bubbly and fun.
I don't think personality-wise we're very similar. Gabi, she's a little frantic. She's all over the place. She has her heart in a good place, which I like to think I do as well. She's definitely on her own path, but she needs the support of everyone around her constantly. I think by herself, she would be a lesser person. I think she's nothing without her roommate Sophia and with Kim Whitley, who plays Yolanda, and even with Rex Lee, who plays Elliot. I mean, I think they very much are a team, and they work together through all of their problems. And I think she's definitely a team player, but she has quite a few outlandish pranks that she tries to pull to make things happen for herself. And so she definitely thinks outside the box. But I think I'm more straight-laced. I don't know how I would. I'm sort of more like streamlined than Gabi. She's a little all over the place. I hope that's good. I think, yeah. I'm here on time. Gabi would not be here on time.
Next question? Yeah.
I do. Yeah. When you work on a show like that for, it was 5 years, and it wasn't just our show. It wasn't just Hannah Montana. It was like every show that was on Disney Channel at that time. I mean, we weren't just with our core group of people on that show. We were with, the Sprouse Twins on Sweet Life and a bunch of other shows that were going on at that time. So I'm still close with a lot of people. I just saw Jason Earls like 2 days ago at a pool party. I just saw Chelsea Kane with Chelsea Stoppers, who was on that Jonas show for a while. Like we all still kind of live pretty close to each other. So a lot of us still talk and hang out, and it's weird. It's like high school. It's very funny. Yeah.
So is that how it's set up? I never realized that like the different shows, were they all in the same kind of area?
Actually, Hannah Montana was shot on a soundstage that, like at a studio that no other Disney show was shooting at. Everybody else was. It's hard to explain if you don't live in LA, but we were kind of far apart. But they would bring us together for like the Disney Channel games, and we would do promo shoots together, and they would do this thing called like the New Year's Eve party for Disney Channel every year, and we would do that in like October, and we would just see each other a lot. And we were all kind of the same age, and yeah, we hung out, and I still talk to a lot of people.
Is there anyone that you're super close with still?
It's hard to say. Not super close, but yeah, I just, like I said, I just saw Chelsea Kane a couple days ago. She's very sweet. It's nice to like hang out with people when you're like in your 20s and be like, remember when? Yeah, it's just very strange, but yeah.
That's great. We have someone standing in the mic.
Hey, you're the first. You should get a prize.
Anyway, Emily, I want to ask, because Disney Channel recently did a sequel to That's So Raven Song, does it like, you ever think that Disney Channel will ask for a Hannah Montana sequel like 5 or 10 years from now? Would any of you guys ever want to reprise your roles?
That's a good question. It's a question I've gotten a lot, and it's funny because I have no idea whether they're going to do that or not. I mean, I think it would be very cool, and I think it would be something very great for the fans. I think the fans would love that. And I think it would be like a science experiment to get us all back together again. But I think it'd be fun. I'd definitely be into that. I don't know if it's in the cards, but we'll see. You never know. Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. So I'm sorry, I'm a little confused by your question. How
Sure. So I think he's
Disney
asking
versus new Disney. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, old Disney Channel.
Sure. Well, I think the biggest thing that's different about just entertainment in general now than it was, when I was like 13, is that social media plays such a huge role in a lot of shows and promotion, and it's like the other half of promoting a show. You watch it on TV and you see commercials for it, but then you're also on Instagram and Twitter and all these things like, when's the next episode going to air? I'll just go on so-and-so's Twitter and find out. It's different now. It wasn't like that when I was working originally on Disney Channel. It was like I didn't have it. I didn't have MySpace. I didn't have Facebook. I didn't have any of that. And it was actually awesome to go through high school without any of that. because my mom wouldn't let me. But it was great, and it's just weird now. It's almost like it's part of your job to do that, which is strange, but you know, it's a better way to connect with people who watch the show.
So do you find yourself kind of begrudgingly tweeting or
it's not begrudgingly,
yeah.
but even coming here, I mean, when I got the email and the invite to come do the San Francisco Comic-Con, they were like, okay, can you please tweet at least 3 times about the thing? And I'm like, yeah, like of course I'll do that. But it's such an interesting like part of marketing and promotion now that it's just required. It's very strange. It's weird. Because I don't know that much to say on social media.
You should ask Betty White. I think she has a lot of great ideas.
She follows me on Twitter, you guys. It's awesome.
That's
so
an accomplishment right there.
I remember waking up, getting the notification, I'm like screenshot.
Yeah. Perfect. Back here in the cool ass.
I have a question. Did you find it hard to change your acting style to something like darker, like a movie like Cyberbully? Was it hard to transition to like depicting yourself in a way that was in a much more serious or scary or like difficult in the sense of sort of like a non-happy?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I had just come off working. If anything, it's technically it's a lot different because I had just come off working on a 4-camera sitcom for 5 years, and then transitioning back to film, which is what I've always wanted to do originally. But it's just a different environment. Working on a film is so different, and you can really take your time with the character, which I really appreciate. And it wasn't difficult. It was actually really exciting because I'd been looking for a role like that for a long time, and it just really spoke to me, especially at that time when we were just like sort of on the precipice of like all that social media that was happening. I was like, this was like 6 years ago, I think it came out. So it was before a lot of that really online bullying started happening. I was right in the middle of it, and I thought it was such an important story to tell, especially since like my mom's an elementary school teacher, and like I have social media. I know what it's like to see things you don't like on the internet. And it was such an important story to tell, and I stand by it so much because it's just so easy to be nice, and people forget that. But I really enjoyed making that film. I still think it's one of the best ABC Family movies I think they did. It was really, really good. We had a great director. It was very fun. Not to toot my own horn, but it was really great.
So do you kind of see yourself doing more film if you kind of had your choice?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's strange to. I didn't think I would be back doing a sitcom again. I didn't think that would happen, and then you do one pilot season, and then you drop out of college, and then there you are. Yeah, it's weird to get back into that groove again because I always thought I was going to do film, but this has been such a blessing in disguise, and I have so much fun on the show, and we all have a really great time. But I'm looking forward to sort of doing more things after we finish season 6 or whatever might be in store. So it's nice to like, also sort of see the end and know, okay, well maybe new things might be on the right.
Just curious, what were you studying in college?
I was a theater major and a religious studies minor.
Ooh, I like that combo.
Thank you.
Little crazy, a little nut.
A little both, yeah.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah.
Hi. It's tough because like all of them.
So the question was, what roles is she looking for in the future? If you had
Something,
choice.
I mean, I think anyone that's been doing one thing for a long time, you want to do something that's completely different, which is sort of like in any career you probably feel that way. But I would like to do something more pertaining to older than I usually play my age or much younger, and it would be nice to play sort of someone in their early 30s or something if I can. Because I'm very young. But it would be nice to play a character that's a little bit older, that's maybe in the corporate field. I think that would be a good change. Yeah, sure. Do I ever sing? Yeah. I sing all the time. It's very annoying. I do. I mean, music's always been a really important thing to me. I really enjoy writing music. I enjoy listening to music. I enjoy connecting with people through music. I think it's a really great universal way to just connect with people. I think music's very important, and I studied music in college, I studied music in high school, and I play a few instruments, and I really, I do love it, but it's tough to like focus all your energy on one thing, and I'd like to record another album, and I'm working towards that right now. I just bought a house, and the house is completely empty, and I'm like, well, this is the time to record. I'll just put a bunch of like,
It is a studio now.
It is a studio, so I'm actually gonna maybe think about doing that when I get home, but, and I like to take my time, you know, I feel like I rushed into music pretty quickly, and didn't really do it the way I wanted to, and now I've had like a lot of time to think about it.
What are some of your musical influences?
Death grips? No. I listen to like all kinds of stuff. I listen to a lot of classic hip hop, and I listen to a lot of old 80s bands, as we were saying. I love Supertramp. I was just listening to Supertramp Prince Hits the other day. Yeah.
That guy is a fan.
Yes, I love Supertramp. But I kind of listen to everything. My parents are incredibly musical, my dad especially, and I grew up listening to like Queen all the time, and Led Zeppelin all the time, and my brother will say he introduced me to Radiohead, but my dad actually introduced me to Radiohead a long time ago, but I don't know, I kind of listen to everything. I just turn on KC, I don't know if you guys listen to KCRW, but they have really good like New Music Mondays, and everything they play is really good. But I'm open to everything, except maybe country music, but everything else is, I love all music.
It's a certain palette that
Yes.
country music is, yes. Yeah, over here. Yeah. Hi. So the question was, if she could make a guest appearance on any movie or any TV show ever, what would it be? No pressure.
That's very tough. I'm thinking about one I'm watching right now. I don't know, are you guys watching Ozark on Netflix? Has anyone seen that? It's Jason Bateman like directed. It's an awesome story, but that would be really fun. I want to do something, I've always wanted to do something like Deep South, because my mother and father are from Birmingham, Alabama, and I can really tap into that one really easily, and I think it'd be really fun to do something like Deep South, because I never had the opportunity to do that. So I don't know, and Ozark is kind of like leaning towards that very kind of dirty Deep South kind of thing, which I like, which would be fun. I love it. Oh, was that you? Hi. Isn't that weird, like meeting someone that you met on the internet? Where was I? How excited was I? I was exhausted, actually. I was doing finals in college, and I was so tired, and I was trying to do finals and also do pilot season, which is like, I don't know how I'm alive. It was very tough. But I was really excited because it was kind of a ridiculous audition for Young and Hungry. I don't know if you know what pilot season is, but there's a couple months at the beginning of the year where you just sort of like kill yourself and you audition for everything that's coming out, and TV's sort of taking over anyway, so there's so much material and there's just so much to read. And don't tell a creator, but I was sitting in the like audition room, like reading the script, and like, oh my god, I'm like trying to wrap my head around this character. I'm like so behind. I have this test tomorrow, like trying to get it. And I went in there, and I didn't know that Ashley Tisdale was a part of the production. So I went in there and I looked at her in the room and I was like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I'm a producer. I was like, I do that. So it was like really behind. And I kind of like forgot a couple of the lines or something, but I was just so intrigued by how goofy the character was. I thought she was very funny and just very confident, but also ridiculous, which I love. And there was this dumb little floor fan. It was like a grate on the floor, and it was blowing really cold air, and I was wearing this very like billowy shirt. And every time I would sort of like mess up a line, I would just stand over the fan, and it would just sort of like blow my shirt. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And it kind of worked, and I thought it was hilarious. And I don't think I said half the right lines, and they were like, you're great, come back tomorrow. So that was it. So I was actually not so much like excited, but more so very surprised that I got the part.
So that's a tip for anyone that's going out for any auditions. Just make sure that there's a vent available.
And flash the producers now.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I did on accident, but I didn't mean to do it the first time. I was like, oh, this is kind of funny.
It was in the moment. It was great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Over here.
Was Spy Kids your first breakout role?
So her question is, was Spy Kids the first breakout role for you, or did you start even younger than that?
I started acting when I was like 5 or 6, I believe. I peaked at 6 when I played Glenn Close and Christopher Walken's daughter in a movie called Sarah Playing a Tall. We shot it in Kansas. And at the time, I had no idea how cool that was, but right now I'm like, oh my god, I would do anything to play Glenn Close and Christopher Walken's daughter again. So you're thinking Hannah Montana resurgence, I'm thinking Sarah Playing a Tall Winters End resurgence. That would be great. Yeah, I mean, I worked pretty constantly when I was a kid, and did a couple guest spots on some TV shows at the time. I did an episode of Friends. It's very funny to like get notifications on Twitter like, is that you? And I'm like wearing pigtails and I'm wearing like a little Bo Peep outfit or something. But yeah, I mean, I think Spy Kids was my first introduction to like, oh, this is what a big budget movie feels like, and like I can eat everything at Crafty and they'll just like replenish it. And it was just very cool. I mean, it's the longest that's, how do I say this? It was a very long time to be working on a film. I think we shot Spy Kids. Spy Kids 2 took about a year, which is a really long time. But Robert Rodriguez like was funding himself and had the time and had the money and like was having a great time and we didn't care. We were in Austin, Texas for like a year. I spent so many holidays there. And I got to hang out with my dad for like a solid year straight. And it was really fun, and so I think I've always held that up to be like one of the best experiences I've had on film for a long time, it was just magical. It was very cool.
And your dad is also a performer as well,
Yes,
right? So
yeah.
Is that kind of part of your upbringing? Was that it was almost expected for you and your brother to kind of?
Not really. I mean, my brother was like, I think he was spotted in like an IKEA or something. And I'm like, he's real cute, bring him to this casting call. And I was like, all right. And then it just sort of fell in line for me too. He got this wonderful agent, her name's Meredith Fine, she's really great. And he worked with her for a very long time. He was a talent group in LA. And then I sort of took a meeting with her and went out on a few auditions and kind of got the bug for it. And it was just fun. It's really fun to be someone you're not for a few minutes. And I had a great time. But yeah, my dad was a theater actor for a long time in college, and is very good at what he does, and is a very good acting coach as well. But learned everything I could ever learn about acting through him, and then I got to go to college and study theater again in college, which was really fun from quite a few different professors that I love there. I went to Occidental College in LA. It's a great school. But there's so much to learn with acting, and to sort of fall in love with something so young, I think it's kind of rare, but to be able to stick with it, I feel very, very cool.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Disney princess?
Wait, I'm trying to think. What's ADAMICradio, what is her princess's name? Is it Elena? The new Latina Disney princess. What is her name? She's like, you know what I'm talking about? Is it Elena? Yeah. That's so cool. It's very, very cool to like go to work with a Disney princess. But yeah, she's. I think it's awesome that they did that. I don't know how many. There's like what, like 8 Disney princesses. We just got a new one like last year. It's very cool. Oh, we have a very tall man there. It's been sticking out for a while. Over here. Yes. Hi. Yeah. What's your question? Hi.
Hi. Is Young and Hungry going to get another season?
I hope so. We don't know. We're not going to know for a few months. But you will be the first to know. I promise.
Because I love it.
Oh, thank you. We have more, I don't know if you were here, we have more episodes airing next year. There's like 10 more, I think, but we're waiting to hear about the next season.
Yeah, it's because I grew up watching Hannah Montana, and you totally killed it on that.
Oh, thank you.
And the minute I saw Young and Hungry, I was super pumped, super excited.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I was excited when they put it on Netflix, because I think it's such a fun show to like binge watch. It's only like 23 minutes, and to be able to watch a few at a time is cool.
Is there a show that you have fallen into the binge watching, like, super doing?
Oh my god, my boyfriend's gonna make fun of me, but I was watching Riverdale, which is like, I'm way too old for that show. But I saw that Cole Sprouse was on it, and I was like, Cole Sprouse, I know him. I was like, okay, this is kind of addicting. I had like 5 stars on Netflix. It's like, I'll just watch it in the background while I like do my workout. And I was like, okay, I kind of like this show. So it's good. I like this show.
And Netflix just keeps rolling them out.
They
don't
do.
stop it.
I
They don't
know.
stop it. Yeah. All right, next question.
say something? I heard Disney princess and email.
I think she said if they just like emailed you and said if you could be any Disney princess, right? Then which one would you choose to be?
That's tough. They're also like damsel in distress, which I don't like because like power to women.
Some of them are a little tougher though.
Well, yeah, this Elena princess is super tough. She doesn't need no man, I heard. I don't know, that's tough. I always loved Snow White. I thought she was very cool. She got to hang out with animals all the time. It's like number one goal, so sure. Snow White.
She was pretty happy wherever she went too.
Yeah.
Like she had a kind of a bad situation and she kind of made the best of it.
Yeah,
So
she did.
yeah, that's a good one. It's a classic. Yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You've done like some voice acting work. Do you have anything voice acting a lot?
Oh man, you just reminded me I have an audition I have to send in for voice stuff. Thank you.
He wants to know about voice acting and if she has something coming up with that.
I voice acting is so fun. It's everything you think it is. You go into your pajamas and you're there for like 10 minutes, and then you go have lunch and you go home. And it's really easy and really quick, but so much fun. And I worked with, I don't know if you know who Matt Jones is, but he was on Breaking Bad. He played Badger on Breaking Bad. He and I did a show together called Kick Batowski, which was on Disney XD, which was so fun. And it's just a completely different skill that I didn't realize I would have like so much fun doing. But no, I mean, right now, I don't know if there's still some Family Guy episodes coming out. I think they're probably all aired by now, but no, I do like a bunch of other stuff here and there. But yeah, I need to get back into it. You're right. You were right.
So you just inspired her.
Yes. Also, no, I seriously have to turn in that audition. I completely forgot.
Do you feel like when you are doing voiceover work or voice acting, do you like find yourself like doing more physically and everything than when you normally would for a
Yeah, it
TV show?
helps. It definitely helps because you're using, one thing to give all emotions. I mean, you're just using your voice, and you don't have the crutch of, all of your body movements, which I use a lot on Young and Hungry. I think most of the time the physical comedy is what really sells a joke. But when you're doing, voiceover, you don't have that. So it does actually help a lot to sort of act out everything you're doing in the room because you discover things you wouldn't normally. I just redid my backyard, and that took forever. Now I'm doing my kitchen, which is taking even longer. Right now I'm kind of really enjoying not working. We did 20 episodes of Young and Hungry pretty much in a row, which is a lot, and especially to do a live audience show every Friday night. It's a lot, and I didn't realize until we were done just how exhausted I was. It's kind of nice to just have a second to age and figure out really what I want to do next, and not, age like a president too fast. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Yeah, I did. I liked that episode. I thought that was a really interesting. He's talking about. We did an episode where we all were ourselves, and we just sort of answered questions from people that flew in and sat in the audience. And it was cool because we just kind of got to be ourselves and answer questions about the show and our own lives. And
What's on your bucket list of?
finish the kitchen.
Okay.
It's taking forever, you guys. It's ridiculous. I was demoing the kitchen with my dad last week. I had nails in my shins still. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Do you have somewhere that you would like to travel that you've not yet traveled to?
Oh man. I've been thinking about this a lot. I went to Germany a couple of years ago on my year off from I did high school and then I took a year and then I went to college. And in that year in between, I traveled a bunch and I spent some time in Germany, which was really, really cool because I am German. And I got to travel a bunch with my dad and we spent some time in Munich, which was beautiful. And I'd like to go back. I'd love to do Germany again, properly.
Yeah. What made you want to go into religious studies in college?
This is It's like way more of a loaded question than you could ever think. I was raised Catholic, and how do I answer this? I wanted to see what makes people tick, religion-wise, and I took a lot of Buddhism classes, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm not religious, but I had a really good time learning about different religions, and it's hard to answer without offending anyone. But yeah, it was just a very interesting topic that I wanted to know more about.
I feel like that's, I mean, to me, like that seems almost like studying psychology. You know, that it's so
sort of,
enriched
yeah.
in people's cultures and their
Right.
lives.
Historically, I mean, religion is such a huge hand in where we are today in the world, and it still does. And it's such a dividing factor with a lot of countries and a lot of people all over the world. It was very cool to learn about the way it has shaped us to who we are as a society, sort of.
You sound like a director already.
Thanks.
In the red. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, hi, I'm
Nice.
sorry. You were kind of hiding. I apologize. Yes. What's your favorite movie besides the ones you've been in?
That's such a funny.
Because Mike
I'm
is
such a
number
narcissist.
one.
Yes. What's my favorite? Well, what's yours? What's your favorite movie? Moana. I was over at a neighbor's house the other day, and the kids were watching Moana. I was like, why didn't I see this? Man, that's tough. Favorite movie. Don't see this for another, how old are you? Don't ever see it. Boogie Nights is one of my favorite films. It's a really great. So what did I say? Don't see it. And then Almost Famous has always been one of my favorites. I love that film.
There's an 80s vibe again.
There it is. Dang it. I know. I always thought I was like a 70s person, but
Boogie Nights is kind of 70s.
yeah. I'm trying to think what else. There's been so many good movies I've watched recently. But those are probably my top two. Yeah.
Classics.
Have you seen all of the Indiana Jones movies? You should go home and watch all of those. Those are good. I was about your age when I first fell in love with Harrison Ford, but you need to go watch all of those right now. They're awesome.
You have homework. Yeah.
Yes. And then Hannah Montana again, if you want after that.
Yeah.
I noticed you've been really outspoken about politics on Twitter lately, and I wanted to know what inspired that.
Oh, do you have all day? Also, what are you dressed as? Cool. Oh yeah, you have, is it a toad? Oh, that's oh, chameleon. Oh, very cute. Awesome. There's children here, so the world is a mess, and I was very shocked last November, and I'm like crying just thinking about it. It was very a tough realization to see which way our country is going, and I was very heartbroken to see. I was very surprised to wake up that morning and see who was elected, and it's been very tough. So yeah, it's been very hard. Every single day it's tough. Like going on the internet and reading what's going on and how he's handling it. It's traumatizing. So yes, I'm outspoken because why not? And for a while I was like, well, I should, I don't want to take out one part of an audience that may watch a show that I'm on because they may disagree with something I may say politically, but also it's 2017 and we don't have time for that, and things are real bad and someone needs to say something.
Do you feel like sometimes because you are in LA and in the performing world that you kind of create a bubble around you that is a kind of one way of thinking? And
no, I mean, I think because I live in LA, I don't think it's a bubble. I think there are so many different types of people in different walks of life in LA, and I've seen it all. I grew up there, and I know that city very well, and it's very diverse, and you see all kinds of people in Los Angeles and with all kinds of political views, and so I think I've had a good grasp on, how everyone thinks. And I went to a private high school, and it was very shocking to see how many people didn't think the way that I thought in a very small town, and it's weird. It's very strange. Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
all right, we have time for a couple more questions. Yeah. What's super? Yeah.
Human powers? Is that what you said? Superhuman powers? Ability. I'd like to stop time. That would be great. I have so much that I need to do. Finish the kitchen.
Right.
And I would like to stop time and get a lot more done. That would be great.
That's a great one. I don't think I've ever heard that answer. That's
really?
a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's like, you know, you don't want to mess anything up where everyone's frozen, or step on a bug. What's that bug? You step on a butterfly and then like half the world is extinct.
Right.
So yeah, you have to be very careful. But I would just be sort of in my own world doing my thing. And then I would, you know.
So you're not stopping all the time, just like the time in your...
No, all the time.
Okay.
Everyone needs to pause. Well, I get everything done. Yeah. No one can get ahead of me.
That's good. That's good. I like that. Yeah.
I was like super young when That's So Raven came out, and I always loved That's So Raven. I loved that show. So much so that my brother would walk there and be like, oh my God, turn it off. But yeah, I mean, I was the perfect age for a lot of Disney Channel, original, awesome Disney Channel programming. So I was very stoked. I only wanted to be Hannah Montana because I thought I was going to be Raven's mom, which I actually never did, which was
You haven't
very
met her?
sad. I don't think I have.
Oh man.
I don't think so. But yeah, that was an awesome show. Yes.
All right. Last question here.
I know you just said,
Oh.
We'll do two more.
Yeah, we'll do two.
you just said that you were a fan of That's So Raven, and your rating has
Did she say sequel, single?
Single?
Can't hear.
Sequel.
Sequel.
Yeah.
Is it they're doing another show? They're doing like
Yeah,
a...
Raven, so Raven is now a mother of twins.
Brilliant.
One of her twins actually has her sight.
Why not both? That's just mean. Just one twin? That would suck.
I think that's where all the drama of the show comes in from.
That's very cool. I didn't know that. Is it on Disney Channel?
Yes, it is.
All right, there you go. Well, I got plans for tonight. And then there was another hand.
Yeah,
that was
last
like,
question here.
don't take this wrong way, but no. I think YouTube is such, I mean, I've learned how to do so many things in my house via YouTube, like my dishwasher stopped working, and YouTube was great for that. But I think that this is my main problem with social media too, if you reveal too much of yourself, it's really hard to go to a film and go see someone in a movie and go, but yesterday they tweeted about blah, 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 while you're watching them, you know, play a different role. So I think I try to keep a sort of private life as much as I can, with sort of still keeping up to date with everybody about what's going on in the world. But YouTube, it's like a slippery slope, I feel like. Because then I would just talk forever, and then you would hate me, and that would be terrible.
Well, unfortunately, that is our moment where we do have to stop, and we're stopping time now. So everyone, thank you. Join me in thanking Emily Osment for being here. And as I said, if you do want autographs or a photo op with her, she's going to be on the first floor pretty much right now, starting at 11:30 to do all of that business for most of the day.
Yeah.
So go check her out there. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good time.
Hello, San Francisco Comic-Con. We hope you enjoyed this panel. Now, please check around your seat, gather your belongings, and your party.
Hey, it's Adamic. Thanks for watching this video. San Francisco Comic-Con was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of people and shot a whole bunch of videos and pictures, which you can find here on YouTube and my Instagram, which is also ADAMICradio. I've got some cosplay stuff, including Pickle Rick, Rick and Morty, and Slash, plus Q&A panels for Doctor Who's Peter Capaldi, Emily Osment from Hannah Montana and Young and Hungry, Sean McGuire from Once Upon a Time, and Summer Glau from Firefly and the Sarah Connor Chronicles. So lots of stuff for you to check out. Please make sure to like, comment, and share my videos. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. It's the little ball in the bottom left corner. All those things bring up the hits, which makes it possible for me to make more videos for you. Thanks. I'll talk to you later.